What's up, everyone? So I'm going to go over boring passive income, or some of them. This is actually, I'm going to kind of go over two income streams, two passive and then one active income stream that you guys can start implementing today. And so by the end of this, you will have three income streams. And you know what they say, like millionaires typically have, I believe it's 7 income streams. So you're almost halfway there. So this is exactly, I'm going to show you just what I do. And this is exactly the income streams that I have so that you guys can copy them if you want. So we're going to go over 2 passive income streams, 1 active income stream. And the thing I like about my income streams is all of them tend to have income streams within income streams. So for instance, if I have 1 income stream, it can actually create multiple income streams within that income stream. I know that's a lot of income streams, but I'm going to break it down for you guys right now. So 2 income streams, these 2 first ones. And if I were to start all over, this is exactly what I would do because number 1, it helps reduce your expenses or your liabilities. You start creating cash flow, and the more cash flow you can have, the more you can reduce your your expenses and liabilities, the more money you have to reinvest. And that just allows you to use your money to make more money. And that's exactly what I do. You're going to have others pay for your liabilities. The more you can have other people pay for your liabilities and reduce your expenses, the more money you make and the more cash flow you have. And then obviously you want to have a nest egg of cash. That way you can continuously be safe in case of an emergency, and you're not having to take on more debt and be more in the hole. And then just having that peace of mind. I think that's a huge thing to have, especially if you're one who is a little bit afraid of getting into debt. So let me just make sure. Yeah, cool. So the goals of these first 2 passive income streams are to reduce our expenses, not really increase our income. They kind of offset our expenses. So typically when we have a lot of expenses, we typically, when people make more money, they tend to spend more. And that's not the way you actually want to do it when you're just starting out. You actually want to continuously reduce your expenses as much as possible, so you have a great deal of cash flow that you're able to use that money to continuously buy more income producing assets. But for now, the goal of these 2 passive income streams, if you're just starting out, is to reduce your liabilities, so you can ultimately create more cash flow. With our 1 income stream, the goal is to actually leverage people's services or products so that we're able to get the ball rolling. Unless you're willing to take all the time and effort to build out something that you haven't tested or anything like that, it's probably not the best way to do it. You want to have someone's services or products that has been proven to convert, so you're able to get the ball moving right away. I focus only on creating recurring income, because the more recurring income I can have, I can just ultimately build upon what I did previously instead of having to really just start over every month. I know a lot of people who are into doing tasks online or high ticket affiliate marketing, and these things you're consistently having to start over every month. And some months you might do good, some months you might do bad. But if you're able to create recurring income, you're just building upon the previous month. And that's how I build my income streams. And then ultimately, we want to turn that income stream into a passive income stream by leveraging VAs or affiliates, or offload it to just another company so that you can just collect recurring income and make it passive so that you can focus on the next income stream. And then obviously, this is where you start a new income stream after you've handed it off and made it passive, or you reinvest that money into more income producing assets or businesses or whatever. And the goal here is to increase our income with this active income stream, versus our first two were to reduce our expenses. And I'll go over that now. So let's just create cash flow. Our first two passive income streams, and I've already kind of said this, is about reducing our expenses, because if we can reduce our expenses, it allows us just to have a greater, I guess, way of making more money, because we're not always into debt. We're not having to constantly live paycheck to paycheck. If we can reduce our expenses and increase our income, it's just a greater gap of cash flow. So how will we do this? Leveraging the sharing economy. The sharing economy is a huge thing in the modern times. It is where people are able to share what they have and let people rent it out or whatever. We see this with Airbnb and different car rental companies and Fat Llama, and all this share economy is a great way to make a great deal of income. So, for example, I use Toro for my car. I can reduce my, I don't have a car payment, but I'm averaging about $500 a month extra from my car. I don't use it at all. It's actually rented out right now. And as you can see, I'm averaging about $500 a month. And it's COVID right now. Those first 2 months right here, it would be probably another 1,000 or so. But I took it off during these 2 months, and then I reintroduced it because this is kind of when it started in a sense. So I was just being cautious. And then I decided to reintroduce it, and look at it, it's almost $800 that last month. So, and then obviously in November, I'm still waiting on cash to come in. And it's, as you can see, it's just a great way to leverage $500 a month. And if you have a car payment, typically a car payment's like $300 if it's an older car or a used car, versus if a new car, you're about break even. So it makes no sense not to do this, because you're actually having other people pay it down your liabilities. And if you have no car payment, then you're just going to be pocketing that cash, because your car is usually sitting 20 hours a day, probably 22 hours of the day, when you only drive it, to and from work if you have a 9-to-5, or if you work from home like I do, it just sits day after day, just sitting out there, not doing anything. So you might as well leverage it, because as you can see, I'm making a great, decent amount of income from it from doing nothing. And this is kind of like a little real estate property. It just pays me not having to do anything. So what if you have a 9-to-5? Well, you can actually pick up and create custom hours of what time it works for you. So while you're at work, and so you have a truck and people need a moving truck, you can rent out your truck during 9-to-5 and then have it delivered back to you, so that you're able to kind of make those requirements. You can pack your lunch. You don't need to go out to lunch. You can literally just rent out your car and make passive income while you're at work. What if you don't have a nice car? Well, I have a little Prius. It's completely paid off. It gets great gas mileage. I used to have a BMW, but I didn't understand why I was driving from work, the gym when I was a trainer, back home and having it sit there. It just didn't make sense to me. So I just paid for this in cash and never looked back. And I work from home, so it really makes no sense to have an expensive car just sitting in a driveway. I don't really care to impress people. So it's exactly why I have a little Prius, and it makes me $500 a month for doing nothing. So what if you don't want people using your car? I mean, this is a common objection, I guess. People don't like other people being in their car, I guess. I don't really care, but you can actually use a site called Fat Llama, which you can rent out bikes, cameras, laptops, drones, all sorts of stuff to offset some of the things you've purchased that are probably just sitting in your garage, just doing nothing. So you can literally just rent out a bunch of stuff. And Fat Llama is another website you can use for the sharing economy, camper vans, all sorts of different things. What if any excuse? If you are constantly making excuses, you're probably broke. That's probably why you're living paycheck to paycheck. So if that's you, then you probably need to stop making excuses and start implementing some of these tactics and reducing your expenses so that you can actually level up your life. If you look at all the super wealthy, they typically don't wear things to impress people. They really just kind of do their own thing. I think like Steve Jobs, Mark Zuckerberg, they all wear the same exact jeans and a t-shirt every single day. Bill Gates, all these people typically aren't wearing expensive clothing. They're not kind of worried about what they look like outside of the workplace. I think Steve Jobs always wore barefoot around the workplace. So it just shows you stop making excuses and trying to impress other people with things that don't really matter. I'm all about experiences in life. We just went to New Orleans for the week on vacation using our points and using just pretty much went for free because of being able to use these tactics. So on to the next passive income stream. This is real estate. I actually own 4 rental properties or 10 units. We have a mix of 2 single family homes and 2 4 units. And as you can see, my little Prius is on the bottom here. It's actually worth a little bit more than this, but Zestimate and Zillow is just an estimate. So we're actually getting them appraised right now. So I will know better numbers in the next couple of days. I think they just did it on Friday. So pretty excited. So it just pays me income stream. You might be wondering hey, Brandon, real estate's not passive. Well, for me, it is. I live in Texas and our rental properties are in Las Vegas. I actually have a property manager who manages all my properties and he just sends me checks. So this was last month, about $7 grand, I think. And this is already taken out the the property management fees. So he takes about, I think it's between 8 to 12%, depending on if he relists them or gets a new tenant in there or whatever, repairs, that sort of thing. So it's consistently about 7 or 8 grand. And I just get that passively. It's actually going to be buying our house. This is the house that we are currently building. I'm not building it. We have someone building it, obviously, because I can't do that. But it's a 9,000 square foot lot. It is 3,500 square feet, 4 bedrooms, 4 baths. There's a theater room, an office, and a bonus room on top of those 4 bedrooms. So real estate's fun. It's a really good way to make a great deal of money. But obviously there is a front-loaded expense when you first start getting into real estate, just because if you house hack or have someone else buy the property or do lease to own, and we'll go over some other things, tactics in a second, but typically you need to put 20% down. That'd be a whole different course. So I'm not going to go into the details about that, but we'll go over to what if you rent. So a lot of people do rent. If you own your own house, you can obviously do Airbnb. You can rent out a room, but say if you rent, you can upgrade to a 2 or 3 bedroom. You kind of have to figure out if the increase in the rent from like your tenant or your landlord by upgrading is gonna be offset by what you can collect in rent. So say for instance, you have a 1-bedroom and it costs you $300 more a month to upgrade to a 2-bedroom, but you can get the like $700 a month from that room, then it might be advantageous for you to actually do that. And so you just need to figure out the numbers. You can share room if you need to reduce your expenses. The best way to reduce your expenses, obviously, rent is a huge one. So you might as well do that. What if you're still on a lease? Well, most apartment communities will allow you to break a lease if you move into something bigger. So like kind of what we were just talking about, if you upgrade from a single like studio or 1-bedroom to a 2-bedroom, they'll allow you to break the lease and upgrade to a 2nd bedroom. Same thing with a 2-bedroom to a 3-bedroom. How do I know this? Well, my wife's in property management. She's been in it for like 14 years, and I just know these kind of things. What if you don't want to live with someone else? Well, there's a thing called rental property arbitrage, and you can literally rent and manage other people's properties and put them on Airbnb and figure something else out with that. This gets into more of not being passive income because you're having to build a portfolio, but it is something you could do. But again, we want to make it more passive. So reducing your expenses and then buying property and then having someone else manage it is probably the best way to start until you have enough income coming in, and then you can focus on other things. And we'll go over active income streams in a second, but this is definitely a cool way to make money through real estate when you don't own any real estate, and that's rental property arbitrage. Things to consider if you do this though, talk to the landlord before you do this. If you sublet, you don't want to just rent out your 2nd bedroom because you might not be able to sublet it. Or they might need to be on the lease or anything like that. If you consider rental arbitrage, set up an LLC, get extra insurance, and do your market research just because, well, you want to be protected and you want to make sure that the house is protected too, especially if you're managing someone else's property. Obviously, you need to know that your market, if that's allowed, if you need a real estate license. Most of the time on like Airbnb, you don't if you have a contract, but if you're doing it like as a full-time career, do your market research. I'm not a financial advisor or a lawyer or anything like that. So this is all for entertainment value. So obviously, don't sue me, bro. Just do your research and make sure that it's allowed and protect yourself. That's all I can say. So far, we've just reduced our expenses and our liabilities, becoming more frugal. We want to reduce our expenses as much as possible. So that's exactly what I typically do. Is I have like really no debt besides real estate debt, and that's just good debt. I don't have really any credit card debt. I don't have student loans. I don't have what is it called? I don't have a car payment. I don't have what is it called? Like store credit debt, whatever that's. Store credit. I don't have any kind of debt that way. So the more we can reduce our expenses, pay off debt, the better. And then obviously the extra cash flow that we have, if you do have debt, you want to use that to pay off those bad debts and then start looking into buying income producing assets so you can create more cash flow. So now it's time to increase our income. And this is once you've reduced your expenses as much as possible, it's time to actually increase your income as much as possible because you can only reduce your expenses so much. And a lot of people tend to, when they make more income, they tend to spend more. And you don't want to do that for like the first 3 years. You literally want to live as frugal as possible, make as much income as possible, and then start reinvesting that income into more income producing assets so that it will snowball and make you a lot more money in the long run. If you're able to live on a very frugal lifestyle for a few years, then you can really make a substantial amount of money and start looking at creating a substantial amount of wealth. So income streams. We want to leverage. So software. Digital real estate rent is due every single month. This is kind of what I focus on. Software is because it is so scalable. There's no limits to rooms or banks or how much kind of tenants you can have. It's literally like unlimited. So as much as the bandwidth can hold, then you are set up for success. People can resell it for you. So kind of like we were talking about with having a property management, you can kind of do this with affiliate marketing. So if you're able to have a piece of software, you can literally sell it and have other people sell it for you so that you're making more money in your sleep. I'm a big fan of software, as probably a lot of you know. We have our own software company that we have other people pretty much sell our software for us, or they white label it. That's kind of where I'm going with leveraging other people's software as your own. You can literally leverage and white label people's software and sell it as your own and make a great deal. That way you don't have to really start a new project, start a course or anything like that. You already have something that is proven to convert, and now you just need to leverage your own selling skills to make money. Kind of like real estate, except you can give yourself a raise every single day. Like here, I only get paid on the 9th or the 10th for my real estate. With software, it just comes in monthly. So you literally get paid every single day. You can flip software. So one of our softwares a while back, we created and we sold it for 20 grand. And this was just an easy way to flip a piece of software. You can actually do this with licenses. So if you say, for instance, you joined the digital tycoon.io, you can take and build your subscription, your white label, and then sell that off to a company like Flippa or whatever and make money. I didn't do this with Flippa. I actually sold this privately, but this was one of the softwares we created. I built it up and then sold it off to another development company and made an easy 20 grand. You can do software arbitrage. So like I was saying earlier, how you can white label. You can white label other people's software. So you can white label our software. We have sales funnel software that you can use. And then you can resell our Facebook automation software, our LinkedIn automation software, Instagram automation software, and resell it as your own and make money that way. And then you can obviously flip it, or you can, like with flipping your license, or you can just collect that recurring income. It's totally up to you. That's why I like software, is because there are multiple exit strategies and there are multiple ways to make income from it. You can combine it with your own offer. You can sell it by itself. So software is very, I guess, multifaceted. And with white labeling, you can obviously pick a price that you want to sell it for, and at any price, because it is kind of like your software in a sense. So it makes it really easy. Plus it's recurring, which is great because you're not having to hustle every single month to kind of start over every single month. You get to build upon the previous month, which is kind of nice. These are two of the things that are arbitrage. As you can see here, this one's just constantly going up, and this one's kind of stable right now. I haven't been pushing this as much, but that's about 30 grand right there, which is kind of nice. As you can see, they kind of started at the same point. So just an easy way to make money. And then obviously there's software affiliates. This is kind of the affiliate program that I use using one of my software. That's a couple thousand, I think, or at least 1,000. And it's just month after month, it just keeps building upon. The next thing, it's recurring. So it just, and what I love about this piece of software, it actually has tier 2 payments. So as you can see here, the little 2 here, that means that someone purchased the software and then recommended it to someone else, and then I'm getting paid on that software that he recommended. So it just makes it a nice little passive income stream again. So I really am a big fan of software. I'm not a big fan of digital info products or anything like that, just because they're a dime a dozen, and this actually has a reoccurring, I guess, aspect to it. So want to learn more? You can go to boringpassiveincome.com and join the group and learn more boring passive income streams. That's it, guys. Have a good one. Peace.